Okay, everybody suffers from a toothache sooner or later. I personally believe it's because of all the soda and all the sugar in all of the food creating acidic reactions that are basically eating away at the protective coating around our teeth. But then you have other people who don't get enough vitamin C in their diet and they end up with situations like scurvy where their teeth start rotting away. But in any event, most of us, if we do have any problem such as a cavity or an abscessed tooth, we seek immediate remedy. And I was looking on YouTube and I noticed that they were talking up toothache instead of Oragel, and I decided to give it a test myself. Now, first of all, let's understand what an abscessed tooth is. Basically, it can start as a cavity that slowly develops a bacterial infection that starts to eat away at the pulp inside the tooth. Now, as that infection carries on, it goes deeper and deeper within the tooth, and eventually it can get right to the root of the tooth and the nerve, and it can damage the nerve, and it can also damage the tooth's blood supply. One of the reasons why pain is resultant is because sometimes the gases that occur as the materials die builds up, and that gas can press against, with pressure, the nerve, or it can press against the area with the blood supply and cause the infection to spread. And it is also possible for any pus that builds up to spread into the actual blood supply for the rest of the body, and that can cause what started as a tooth infection to carry on to the rest of the body. So anyway, I've had root canals before. Many other people have probably had root canals before, and I have to get one on Tuesday. Now, I decided to give this a test because the prescribed ibuprofen 600 milligrams wasn't working enough for me. I actually preferred just taking 2 Advil, which basically I think came out to like more than 500 milligrams of ibuprofen or acetaminophen. But I decided to give this a taste, give it a check, find out whether or not toothache was worth the money. So I went down to my Walgreens, the local Walgreens, and I picked one up off the shelf, brought it home, and I gave it a test immediately. I think the most important thing to understand is that all of these over-the-counter remedies basically are going to contain either a lidocaine gel, a benzocaine gel, or some other quote-unquote cane gel. Now, there was 2 choices, maximum strength and regular. The maximum strength was about $1 more, so I just decided to go with the maximum strength. The maximum strength, as you can see, contained benzocaine 20% as its oral pain reliever. Now, Oragel also, as I noticed, contains benzocaine 20%, and it also contains a flavor, meth, and all, in order to give it a taste like kind of like alcohol. Now, the regular contains eugenol 85% instead of benzocaine 20%. My guess is that's just in case there are people who develop allergic reactions to certain types of medication. There is also the Oragel right here. As you can say, it contains menthol and benzocaine. The menthol is basically to give it a little bit of flavor so it doesn't taste horrible. Some people were saying toothache tasted really bad. I found that it really didn't taste much worse than Oragel. And of course, if you're not into buying the brands, you can also get the regular over-the-counter stuff with no brand name, the no frills, and that too contains benzocaine 20%. And basically, after using it, I really didn't find much difference between toothache and between Oragel, and I'll simply explain why. There is no proper way to deal with an abscessed tooth without actually seeing a dentist. Now, the pain can be so debilitating that it might actually lead a person to do something so drastic as to rip the tooth out of their mouth. That actually, in and of itself, could help solve the problem because by taking the tooth out, it exposes the cavity and it allows that pus to drain out, and it would allow that area to be cleaned out. Let's say if you use salt water, or let's say if you used hydrogen peroxide or some kind of cleaning element. However, they really don't want you tearing your teeth out for the very simple reason that, you won't have any teeth left if that's your answer to every single toothache. Seeing a dentist is absolutely necessary. Having a root canal allows them to save the tooth and allows them to make sure that the infection doesn't spread. My dentist prescribed me antibiotics and pain medication in order to make sure that the bacteria was halted before doing the operation, and that's the reason why I had to wait 2 days. Well, that and he wasn't in on Saturday. So for people on YouTube, I just want you to understand that it was incorrectly stated that this stuff has the ability to kill the infection. You should definitely see a medical professional. Inside this box comes the actual medication, the benzocaine, cotton pellets, and an applicator wand, I guess you could say, or tweezer. That in addition to that, it comes with cotton pellets. The cotton pellets are supposed to be held by the tweezer, dipped into the medication, and then placed in the mouth and rubbed around the gum. Now, as I said, it's a little bit stronger than, say, your typical Oragel, but I really found the overall effect to be roughly the same. There's a temporary heat sensation. I won't call it pain, but after the heat sensation, there's the sensation of numbness. Unfortunately, that in no way changes the fact that there's probably a bacterial infection down there, and that in no way changes the fact that that tooth still has to be cleaned out. The only way to do that is by a root canal. So overall, I've tested numerous products off of the shelf. Now, there's no way for me to show you how those tests go because you can't feel my pain, and you also can't taste what I taste when I taste the medication. But what I can say is that if you do have a tooth problem, such as an abscess or such as a cavity, the only logical thing to do is to actually go see a dentist, no matter how much it costs, because you want to get rid of the pain, but you also want to do it in a way where you ensure that infection does not spread to the rest of your body. I've seen some horrific things on YouTube when I was looking up tooth abscess. I saw one girl who had a hole in the side of her face where the abscess had spread to the point where they're eating right through the side of her face. Now, I don't know what country this was. I don't know how that could have gotten so bad. But the thing about it is, just to make sure that you don't take chances like that, such as getting blood clots and thrombosis, the best thing to do is just see a medical professional.